welcome back to my channel. So today's video is just going to be kind of like an update from my GNC Pro box about which of the products that I kind of really liked after about like 2.5 days of using them, and then kind of like an update on where I'm at on my project, because I did give myself this deadline of really being done, at least this memorial aspect of it, by Friday, where I'm hoping to just have it all done, because I actually spent a lot of time like writing down different notes throughout the day about this thing, and I've been doing it for like the past year. The problem is that whenever I get in front of the camera, I actually get really nervous about sharing my thoughts and sharing my journey, just sharing anything in general, because I think I really look stupid. Like, obviously you can tell it has still been a very rough few days, because the newborn is still sick with croup, and I just haven't been getting that much sleep as I'm trying to clean up and just get rid of everything and anything that I think might have bad energy, because, you know, when we moved to the state, it really felt like kismet. Like, I was really here for a reason. Like, something was like, universe was out there to somehow, like, it heard my plea, brought me here. And then, because I just kept having these crazy dreams, this one recurring nightmare, which I'll probably talk about later on. But that's part of the other reason why I'm just really trying to tie this all up, because it's been about a year since I've been thinking about all this stuff, where, you know, I've just been literally writing down, and you're like, oh, hey, Jules, so why didn't you do it sooner, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, if you ask some of my friends, like, they've been super good about tolerating my crazy with some of this stuff. Like, really good about it. And it doesn't help that my husband thinks like I'm some type of whack job with some of this stuff, and it's just like, you know, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, including the success of this channel and just having people like me and follow me on my journey, and maybe take any of the things that I'm dealing with and, I don't know, somehow try to implement it into their life, and maybe it helps them or just helps them to not feel alone. Because that's the other part of this project, is like, you know, I feel like this is the first time in my life, and probably like a bunch of other people's life, that instead of having other things to come in and distract us, where, you know, we can like deal with different things, we're actually really stuck with dealing with our thoughts and dealing with all the other stuff, and can no longer find different ways to escape what's really happening, and are bored because there's this crazy ass virus. And I just keep thinking about, like, how am I going to explain this time to my sons? How am I going to explain this to them? So again, that will probably be another video as well. But to get back to my GNC Pro box, so again, I'm going to be ordering this because I'm about 3 coffees in today. I'm actually been looking around to the different GNC stores in the area to see if I can't find this one, because again, the blue raspberry is awesome. I really like it a lot. I did read an article the other day that, yeah, I knew GNC was in problems, you know, and a lot of it had to deal with the store's representation, like, you know, the managers and stuff. They mean the total dickheads, okay? And it really helped project like that meathead stereotype, and just like, yeah, fuck that shit. I mean, like, that was part of the reason why I was turned off of this lifestyle, but because I really needed to do this in order to help get my body physically strong, so I can keep up with my sons, because I don't want them to view me as like, oh, you know, my mommy's always too tired, she can't do anything, or my mommy always looks a certain way, or, you know, why can't we be outside and play? And I want to give my kids a better childhood than what I had. I was always stuck inside watching movies, whatever, and I wasn't able to really get out. So I really want to be able to get out and do those things with my sons, and that's part of the other reason for this as well. Because again, I just really like everything that's inside of it. Like, I really cannot praise it enough. Again, I like the fact that it's pre-measured cup of caffeine inside of it, so I know that that's about 2.5-3 cups of coffee, which is pretty good. But I also really like the beta-alanine and the lutein. Now, the lutein, I'm horrible at pronouncing names, that's actually an amino acid, and that's really good for helping to like open things up and get things going. But again, like, I'll probably do better research on this stuff. Probably should, especially if I'm going to be making videos about it. This one I actually tried today, which is the Unbreakable Performance Amino Fuel and Recovery. This was awesome. This one actually really surprised me because I wasn't expecting it to be like this cool blue color, and it actually tasted pretty smooth. It didn't taste chalky at all. Not even like menacing-y. I would kind of say it tasted not like Gatorade, but you know, it was in that ballpark, and I did like it. It does have a little bit of a salty taste to it, and that's probably because of the electrolyte aspect of it. But I was really surprised at how well this worked. Like, really, like, picked me up. This was almost as good as a cup of coffee. I was really surprised, and it helped with my morning workout to the point that I really don't feel that kind of muscle soreness. And I primarily do, like, a lot of squats. I do some push-ups. But again, like, that's still really hard because my back is really thrown. Like, everything is just messed up. I'm going to go see a pelvic floor specialist later on this month. I think on June 13th. Oof. Excuse me. And again, like some of the other things in the box, like I can't really use those because sadly I am breastfeeding. But that again goes back into the importance of making sure that you do proper research with anything that you take, especially when you're trying to do things in an all-natural supplement. I really cannot impress upon that a lot, and to take things slow. If you were to go to your medical provider and to talk to them and be like, hey, you know, I'm interested, they're not really going to know a whole lot about it because they're going to look at it as like a pseudoscience, because everything that they primarily learn is driven by the pharmaceutical industry, plus like, you know, a couple hundred years worth of medicine and then tried and true. But even if you look at the all-natural remedies, the homeopathic stuff, like some of it's actually pretty awesome, and I was surprised at how well people around here are like all about that lifestyle. You know, I thought living take that back. My husband thinks that since we're living so close to California, he thinks like I've become like sort of a hippie. But honestly, if it was not for how sick I got with those ulcers, I probably would not have made this lifestyle change. Whether it's getting into exercise, losing weight, like all of it. Like I never want to feel as weak and as bad as I did, because probably at my lowest point when I was really bleeding, I really do think I was kind of like bleeding to death. I don't know. It's weird because I never had these types of thoughts, but if I ever would admit to it, it would probably be that time, like probably like 6 or 8 weeks after postpartum, after I had Bo. I was bleeding so bad, I was literally going through bottles and bottles and bottles of iron supplements. I mean, I was taking like 4 to 6 supplements a day just to try to keep things up, and I could still barely keep my eyes open at different points, and Steph was just in there just like yelling at me constantly, and it's just like, you know, at one point I really did wonder why I was still alive, and maybe it would have been better because everything was just, you know, just a mess. And if it wasn't for him, you know, asking me the question of, you know, do you really want somebody else to raise your son? And it's like, no, I don't. Nobody's ever going to be able to give him the tools that he needs that I can give him. And I really want to show both of my sons that they can do anything. They just got to put their minds to it. So, yeah, sorry about a little bit of a ramble. I've been really going through these papers, and basically what I've been doing is just been going through all of my thoughts and just breaking everything down. I watched this one movie, Collateral Beauty, the other day. It's on Netflix right now. Will Smith movie, awesome movie. And I really like how to describe the advertising and the different abstract concepts. Really, that is the basis for all advertising in this country, because I started to think to myself, like, who wants to live forever, and how do you sell immortality, and then how do you change a mindset? Because for so long we were used to being told what to do, what to think, and then just like everything just, like, I don't even think it ever existed to begin with. But you know, I'm going to take the rest of the day to finish going through everything. I'm going to organize it into those 3 concepts of time, love, and death. And then I'm going to continue to rework it. And I'm just going to focus on the funeral/memorial aspect, just because, you know, during my time at PIMS, it was also very formative, but it was also kind of a weird and dark time in my life as well. And there are some things that I really feel bad about, and I kind of wish I could take back, because the whole reason why I wanted to pursue becoming a funeral director was because of when my cousins died and just everything surrounding that. And you know, never got the proper chance to say goodbye or to get any sort of closure, so I kind of wanted to give that to other people too, which is the other reason behind it, because I think people are just so sad and they're mad, and nobody's really had a chance to like breathe and process what's really happened. Everybody has just been constantly just being thrown in different directions, and the biggest one is figuring out, how are you going to put food on the table? How are you going to keep a roof over your head? How are you going to keep the electricity and the water on? And how are you going to just like basically provide to live? Because most of the times people are working to live and they're barely able to cover those basic amenities. But here we are in this country that's a consumer driven, and it's just made everything much worse. So I'm hoping that this plan works. I'm gonna do a voiceover video with all of it to hopefully keep my identity, because you know how fucking brutal people are on the internet and how cruel they are, and just be like, you know, I like myself and I like a certain amount of femininity, and if this goes belly up, well then I can obviously yank it and no harm no foul. But with this, if I start tagging things with it, I know that that's going to create a problem. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of keep making my videos, but just kind of like lay low and do that as I continue to build up my confidence and to keep doing these things. Because I really can't describe what this feeling is. It's just like, it's so deep ingrained that it's like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it except it's intuition, definitely. Like, I don't know. Well, anyway, see you around, Space Cowboy.